Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Apologies for the late start, but we are here. I say we, with Sharon Williams.
Hi.
Now, you're probably wondering why we are in the same space. Sharon Williams is my mother. So, yes, I am Claudia Carby. I am the Kitchen Table Talks lead, and I will be having a live conversation with Sharon Williams, who is a parenting coach. And the purpose of this webinar was basically to help parents during this time of COVID-19, ask them any questions that they may be struggling with in their household with their children. And it's just basically a time to give tips, give advice, give support where we can. So yeah, Mum, sorry, I will probably say this because it's very weird to say Sharon Williams.
That's okay.
So yes, Mum, do you want to give a bit of background on what you do?
Right, I work with parents. I support parents, younger children, parents of teenagers, just around strategies to help them cope with the challenges of parenting. So, I mean, and I work, with youth offending teams, schools, faith groups, so all different organisations. Just to support parents, really. So, I mean, we all know that parenting is a very challenging role, and within this context of COVID-19, this is like an unprecedented pandemic crisis, that's affecting families all over the world. So parents, everything's just changed for everybody. Yep, for you,
for me, for the household,
for absolutely everybody.
Everyone.
So you've got children who no longer are going to school. They're not seeing their friends. They're just stuck in the house. You've got parents who, some have lost their jobs. You've got some who, they're working from home with children running around. You've got some parents that have got partners, and then you've got others, parents that are doing this all on their own. So this is a very, very, very challenging time.
Really
for
difficult.
Parents. So I am really pleased that you've asked me to answer any questions, and we have had a few.
Yeah, we have had a few, which has been really good. So thank you to everybody that has sent in their questions. They have been fantastic questions, and I'm sure they will help many, many parents that are probably going through the same thing. So we're going to get straight into it. And the first topic is about sleep. So we had quite a few questions. So I'll run through those first, and then we'll go into the answers. So I have a 4-year-old who usually goes to bed at 7:30 p.m. Now they are going to bed after midnight. I can relate. What's the best evening routine for a nearly 3-year-old? And how do you manage a teething toddler around bedtime?
Okay. How? So these are questions that have been asked a lot. I mean, in normal times, the sleep routine can be really, really difficult. There's many parents who haven't had a full night's sleep for like 5-6 years. So it is common. But with all the anxiety, the absolute change in routines and everything, sleep is a problem for a lot of families right now. But we all know that sleep and diet are key factors in our children's development. So it is important that we try.
They relate, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. They affect their moods and behaviours. So we want our children to be having a good night's sleep. So I know this is our 4th week in lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like forever.
Yeah. And I know the first few weeks, you probably just were going with the flow. But I think now is a really good time to start developing some plans and some sort of structure.
Yeah.
So, right, a lot of people ask how many hours sleep do children need. So what are they? 1, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So a 1 to 3 year old, we're looking at around 12 to 14 hours sleep they need a day, roughly. But that could be including your daytime nap, not parents.
Oh man.
I know. And then like 3 to 5 year olds, you're looking at like 11 to 12 hours sleep that's needed.
Okay.
That's
useful.
So try and be consistent and come up with a regular, age appropriate plan.
Yeah.
So a good routine would be to have your tea or your dinner, and that could be around sort of 5ish, 5:30.
Yeah.
Then have about an hour's free play, then about 20 minutes of quiet play. Yeah, so no TV, no what do you call them? Tablets, nothing, no phones, nothing like that. Okay, so just quiet time for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They could have a quick snack and a drink, nothing fizzy, no caffeine, nothing like that.
Nothing to stimulate them.
Nothing at all. Yeah. You want something that's got like a milky drink. Yeah, something like that. And then it's bath time. Brush their teeth, put in their pajamas. That should take about 20 minutes. And then
hopefully.
yes.
Yeah.
This is all like textbook, but there's going to be some
leeway.
Yes, definitely. And then a bedtime story. So about 10 minutes, because they will want you to read.
Continue on.
The whole book, right? So remember, the bedtime story is to help them get to sleep, not you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents.
And then a kiss and a cuddle, and then leave them to try and get to sleep on their own. No, that's the biggie.
Yeah.
That is the biggie.
Yeah.
But sleep specialists try and recommend that you don't
keep
stay
going
with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are useful tips. I hope that helps you. I'll definitely be trying to put them into practice.
And like keep the room dark.
Yeah.
Not too hot. Obviously not too cold. Hide their toys, so that they're not thinking it's playtime. Maybe they can have like their favourite bear or something in bed with them. If you've got blackout curtains or blinds, that's useful. Just try and keep it quiet. No sort of environmental noise. Just try and keep it quiet, and try your hardest to leave them. And not fall asleep with them.
Not fall asleep with them. That's a good tip. That is a very good tip. Try not to fall asleep with them. Okay, so those are brilliant. The next question that we had was a very good question. How do you check in with your child without causing them to worry? So how can we approach children in opening up?
The first thing is you as well, because you're going to be anxious. There's so many things going on. Which we've said, like financial, like relationships.
Big one.
Just, that isolation. There's so many things that can affect your well-being and mental health. So it's you looking at strategies for yourself as well, so that you're calm, so that you can be calm with your children. And then sort of having conversations with them, making time for play and eating together. at least once a day. So it is difficult when you've got to work, and a lot of people, if they're working from home, then they're expected to work from home. Yeah. So there's targets still, and there's things that they have to do. So it's trying to make time for the children. So have a plan, make a plan with your children so that they know this time is playtime where you guys play together, and whilst mommy or daddy, we're doing our work here, this is our space, and then we'll eat together and we'll have fun together. And then you can start having those sort of conversations. People have like suggestion boxes for children, things where they can be creative, where they can write stories, and you ask them about the stories. There's lots of things that you can do where you're not putting your anxieties on them, but they're going to ask questions about why they're not at school.
Yeah.
So it's trying to have open and honest conversations with them without scaring them.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. Would you say that, side note, would you say that that would be the same for older children as well?
Oh my gosh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because it's going to affect them even more. The thing is, younger children probably are appreciating their parents being at home right now.
Yeah.
Whereas teenagers probably aren't. I don't think they're appreciating being like stuck at home with mom. Yeah. So it is definitely about keeping those connections as well. It's very, very important with teenagers.
Yeah. And just trying to build that relationship up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's understanding as well what they're missing out on, what the loss. Yeah. So there's no school, even though some of them may say they hate school, they may hate some of the lessons and maybe hate some of the teachers. True. But they love their friends. So going to school, that stopped. Those who are taking exams, they don't know what's going to happen in regards to their exams. They're just going out to different functions. Just that freedom, isn't it? That freedom. Do you know what I mean? So there'll be a part of them that's probably happy that they're not having to do that lesson. But there's a massive, massive part that's just like really, really, this is such a massive change. It is like a loss to them. So it's understanding that. Letting them know that you understand how big a deal it is for them. That uncertainty.
Definitely.
And that empathy.
Definitely think that's key. Just understanding where they're coming from, what they might be experiencing, so that you can have those open and honest conversations with them. So that was a brilliant question. So thank you. Sorry, Sabrina, could you suggest some terminology that we could use to explain what is happening to a younger child? I think words are powerful. So do you have any tips?
Right. So it's trying not to, because at the moment there's so much information. You can have information overload. And then it's where you're getting that information from as well. So use like trusted sources. Because there's so much that the fear is out there, isn't it? There's so much fear that people are looking for like things to blame, people to blame. There's so many conspiracy theories. If you listen to them all, you would be scared. You would. Very
overwhelming.
So it is trying to, as I said, be honest, but just letting them know that at the moment there is like, there is a disease where they haven't got the medicine for it yet, but all of the specialists all over the world are looking to develop this medicine that will help. But what we can do is follow the guidance, keep washing our hands, and keeping our distance when we're out, doing all those things, and we will be safe. We'll be safe. It's just trying to reassure them.
That is, I'm sure it did. So thank you for that. Thank you for that question. So the next the next question is, why are teenagers so miserable? And how do you get them to do housework and chores? Now, that's making me laugh because it's like, teenagers, their hormones and everything, they're bound to be a bit miserable and moody. But I reckon there's usually a trigger as to why.
The thing is,
they're like that.
In normal circumstances, teenagers can be. Yeah. And also, psychologists say that adolescence is the hardest time in a person's life because there's so many things going on for young people, you know, so that transition from childhood to adulthood, they're not quite knowing where they are, responsibilities, the academic responsibilities, physical changes, emotional changes, you know, there's so many things happening for teenagers. And then this on top of it doesn't help. So if they were moody before, that's to be expected, really. And it is about that understanding. It's so important to let them know that, to show that compassion and that empathy, and don't just dismiss. Don't just dismiss it. Don't just say, oh, well, you know, you'll be going back to school soon.
But taking that time to understand where they're coming from.
Definitely. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. If you think about it, how many parents say, oh my gosh, their phone is their life, right? So they've still got their phone, but all the other things that they had have been taken away from them. You know, so it's such a big, it's a big deal.
Big thing. It definitely is. And how would you say you'd encourage them to start doing housework?
So it is the talking, it is the trying to do things together as a family. So even having your meals, maybe coming up with, negotiating with them coming up with how they're feeling, and then what we can do as a family to help make things a bit easier. So it might be where they can come up with their own sort of personal space, because not everybody lives in a mansion, not everybody's got, you know, all these separate rooms. So maybe, you know, as a family you decide on your own spaces, so that there's family time, but then there's also your own private alone time as well, and respecting their privacy. So having those conversations, having those plans, and then asking them what they would like to do, in regards to housework. So you could put out a few choices, or they could, you know.
I was gonna say, what if, I mean, I'm just gonna be, I'm just gonna be the difficult one and say, what if they refuse? They're like, I don't want to do anything. But what do you say to them?
Then,
how do you encourage that parent?
Right, okay. Try not to get into big arguments right now. And it is trying to see where they're at. So, because there could be some children and teenagers who their behaviour has changed during this time. So it is about giving them that extra love and attention, and doing things and talking about things that interest them. So it's working on your relationship first, maybe. And then from that, hopefully, you're starting to build some respect, and then you can look at certain chores.
There's no escaping it, but you do have to.
It is about
building that relationship up, especially during this period.
Because there's some homes, if you think you're literally on top of each other. So that's going to be annoying. It's not, you know, everybody isn't in a lovely big house where you've got loads and loads of room. Some people haven't got gardens, and you know, it's just some people have outgrown their house or their flat, and now you're having to live together 24/7, so it can be really annoying. So it's that understanding as well, and talking through maybe strategies to help them with their emotions and how they're feeling. Because things are going to get on top of you as a parent, so you need to look at strategies for you as well. And even if it's things like the breathing exercises, the going out for walk, encouraging them to go out together as a family, going for your 1 hour walk or jog or cycle or something together as a family. And then it can take out like the board games and things.
True. You can get creative. This is the time to be creative, isn't it? Just don't look at the things that you're lacking at the moment, but just thinking of the things. Oh, what can I do today? Or, you know, how can I be productive, and doing it together as a family. So,
and I know that some schools have given
like timetables
and things like that, so it's maybe supporting them. And I know you've got somebody in a few weeks that's going to be talking about school work.
Keep your eyes peeled for that one. Spoiler alert. Oh no, definitely, thank you for that, Mom. The next question is quite a heavy one, and it is coming from a parent. She said that she's stressed and she's worried about her son's mental health. How can she support him and help herself to de-stress?
So it's looking at those mindfulness techniques for yourself, because that's really, really important. We always say this: you need to take care of yourself as a parent. If you're really stressed, you're going to parent differently, and you may talk to your family differently,
I agree.
Not have much patience, be more snappy, get into arguments. So you need to monitor your own feelings as well, and take that time out.
Breathe
through it. Really, really important. And then talk through with your son. Was it son?
Son,
about how he's feeling. And that it's okay to feel that way as well. So a lot of it is about validating and acknowledging his feelings and emotions as well, because it's very confusing times.
Definitely, you can definitely feel claustrophobic and feel overwhelmed. But as was said, you can't give the best version of yourself if you are stressed at this time. I know I say it all the time, like, you have to look after you. In order for you to be good at something, you've got to pour into yourself all the time. So look after yourself as a parent, so that you can be the best parent to support your children. So that's definitely,
and it's key. Finding ways, because you could have you would normally have your family or friends pop over, or you'd be able to go out for a coffee and have a chat, and you're not able to do those sort of things. So it's been creative, and at the moment there's loads of different facilities that we've been trying out.
That's been an interesting experience.
Not for me, some embarrassing
definitely
things for people, but ways of connecting with your family and friends is important. And encouraging your son to keep those connections as well. Still trying to monitor, like, though, who connecting with. Do you know what I mean? So not just leaving them to it, because they, there's lots of exploitation and different things happening right now. So although it seems like things are quiet, there's still lots of things going on. So it's still trying to protect them and being aware and talking to them about things.
I was going to say, it's that talking, it's that connection that you're able to monitor. If you're not talking to them anyway and you're just kind of leaving them to do their own thing, it's hard to monitor what they're doing. You've got to build up that trust. They've got to trust you and all that kind of stuff. So,
and like sometimes with your younger ones, letters to grandparents that they haven't been able to see, or even the older ones may want to do write a card or something, do the video calling. Lots of different ways of connecting with family and friends. Loneliness,
it's definitely a isolating time. So definitely keeping those connections up. And that was the end of the questions. Those were some fantastic questions. So we've covered the topic of sleep and how to get back into a routine, because we know that during this time your routines are going to be off, but it's important to set those plans, set those routines in place, because this season will pass. It will pass. We don't know when exactly it will, but we will have to readjust back to life. So if we don't have any routines in place at the moment, it will be so much more difficult when this is all over, when we have to resume normal life.
I mean, you guys know, if you've got children and then the 6 weeks holiday, after the 6 weeks holiday, how difficult it is for them to get back into a routine. So this is like, how many months? If it's like September, they'll be going back. You really have to try and come up with some sort of routine. So it doesn't have to be, as if they're at school, even though some people would recommend that. But no, definitely have a routine. Exercise important. That's obviously physically and for your mental health.
Definitely.
What you're eating and the things that you say as well. So just be mindful of some of the things that you say, because you could scare your youngsters. And I know that people have been drinking a bit more, smoking a bit more. So it's just being mindful, really, of some of the things that you're doing. If you turn around and go, right, I need a drink to get me through this, then that's not really modelling the sort of things.
Behaviour.
You don't want your teens starting to drink to cope with this stress.
That's such a good point. Because they see how you manage things. So if you're just quick to give up or give in to something, they'll be like, oh well, that's how mum copes, or that's how dad copes, or whoever you live with. So that's definitely a big thing. But obviously don't put, this is a pressurizing time anyway. So don't put more pressure on yourself to be the best homeschooler, or the best parent. If you're working from home and you've got children, it's difficult. So you'll have to put routines in place so that things flow. But if things one day are just go up in the air, it's okay. You can take a breather. You can start again tomorrow. But just don't beat yourself up, and
don't watch others. Because every family, every household is different. So do things that work for your family. Put things in place for your family. Don't watch others at all.
That's a big thing, because I know there's many posts, there's many groups out there that they are there to encourage, to give tips and everything. But if you are constantly watching, such and such has built this, and they've really got their life in order and everything like that, don't don't put yourself down just because of how they're living. That's their way of living, essentially. So
if after all of this you've got a more loving, closer relationship with your children and your family, then that's a success.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's a win.
Yes, that's a definite win.
A win. Yeah. No. Oh, what time are we on? Because we could keep talking for hours and hours, but we won't. So thank you for everybody that has tuned in. I can see a few comments. So let's have a read through a few of them. Yeah, agree. Definitely need to get back into a routine. Yeah, routines are key. Have a routine and adjust it in the holidays. Then go back to the original one in school time. That's a very, very good point. Be careful not to panic the children.
Yeah, definitely.
Big one. Definitely. They are watching us, indeed. And I think it is important to find what works for you in your home. Yeah.
We're all different.
Yeah.
And you follow people. Because who was the first person that started running after toilet roll?
I want to find that person.
Just, everybody just, you watch
Literally.
that person, you think,
we'll need that.
We don't actually need toilet roll, but do you know what? I'm going to buy 20 boxes.
To this day, that still doesn't make sense to me at all, why there was just a shortage of toilet roll. I don't understand. But yes, thank you everybody. Thank you, Mom. If you were just joining, this is the reason why we are next to each other, because Sharon Williams is my mom. So yes, thank you, Mom, for this.
But if anybody has got questions, put them up, and I will get back to them.
Definitely. So if you've got any more questions, then feel free to send them to us directly. You can message us, and you can get in contact with us via all our social media platforms, and we will get them answered for you. So thank you everybody for watching. It has been a pleasure. And yes, stay safe. Definitely. And that closeness, just try and love the time that you've got. Yes. And love one another. Yeah. Love one another. It's a pressurizing time anyway. So just love. Yeah. And give. So thank you. Thank you everybody. Okay. Bye.